What's up, my cherry bombs? On today's video, I'm gonna be answering some questions from my cherry bombs on Instagram. I put up a question or a poll for a Q&A, updated Q&A. So I'm gonna definitely answer some of those questions. We got some juicy questions and we have some questions over some fragrances. So why not answer them while I'm doing my makeup? All right, you guys. So if that sounds like something that you're definitely interested in, let's get right into this video. Someone said, you mentioned you perform. What type of artist are you? So I perform in a Haitian gospel band, and we sing Christian music. We played in a style that's called compa, and that style is upbeat, keyboard, 2 guitars, a bass, cowbell, a conga player, a drummer. So 7 instruments, and I sing a lot of music. We just had a single that just came out. I'm the one that sung the single. And yeah, that's where I perform. I enjoy singing in that band. I've been singing in this band for 6 years. Someone said, how do you grow your acquaintances about fragrances and describe them? I've always liked fragrance. I always loved smelling fragrances. I was always curious about the notes. So I guess it's with experience. So when I first started talking about fragrances, it was just random. I just started talking about it just to talk about it. But when I actually dived into reviewing my fragrances on YouTube, I got familiar with notes because I use base notes and Fragrantica to search the notes, of course, of fragrances. And when I realized what the notes are, I invested in myself by ordering oils of different notes. I got them from Amazon. I'm not sure if they still have them, if that vendor still have them, because I was looking for them to link and I could not find it. So I do apologize about that. But they had oils and they had patchouli, tonka, vanilla. It was just like a little mini set of little oils, enough for me to test out and play around with. So when I did that, I feel like that expanded my reach and my knowledge of fragrance notes. And now I could instantly tell if a fragrance has tuberose, or if a fragrance has honey, or if a fragrance have oud, and I could tell if it has cedar or sandalwood, what kind of cedar, what kind of sandalwood. I'm very, familiar with those, and I know the difference between Madagascar vanilla. I know the difference between a Tahitian vanilla. Now, there are plenty of notes, and then there's a lot of notes that they make up as well. So I can't tell you I know every single note on the planet, but it did give me most of the most common notes in fragrance. So that's how I was able to do that with myself, for myself at least. And now I'm a little bit more familiar with these things, and yeah, that's how I do it, y'all. It's nothing too serious. What's your absolutely favorite fragrance? One that you could wear multiple times a week. I don't have a specific favorite, but one that I could wear specifically every single time, every week, is if I'm testing it, because I can get a new fragrance today, which I actually did get a new fragrance today, and I'll spray it on, and if I like it, I'm gonna wear it tomorrow, or I could wear it for the whole week. So what I would say is, when I look for a fragrance, I would have to think of not wearing any other fragrance outside of that specific fragrance. And when I think of a fragrance like that, it's really hard because I have so much. Now, I envy people that only has 10 or 20 or 30 in their collection, because they can really tell you what their favorites are. But I got so much and I smelled so much, I really don't have a specific favorite. But I could tell you my top 10, which I made a video for right here, so check that out. But today I could have a favorite and tomorrow I might not have a favorite. So that's why it's so hard to answer that specific question. I hope that question was answered. Yeah. Are you a content creator full-time? Are there other careers you like to have or dreamed of? I know I never told you guys this, but I am a full-time content creator. And I was hesitant to tell y'all because I don't want to fail, and I don't want y'all to see me fail. But yeah, I've been full-time since March of 2022, not by choice. And I'm gonna be a little bit transparent with you guys, because you guys are my cherry bombs, and if you actually take your time to watch this, that means you're one of the main ones, because I know some of my new followers, they just started following me. I wanted to be in tech. I've always wanted to be in tech, doing something that has to do with tech, but it was just so hard for me. Life has been super hard for me. Everything that would come easy for regular people would be 20 times, and I'm not exaggerating, you guys, will be 20 times harder for me to get done. Because of my upbringing, because of how my life has been and is. Life was always bigger than school, if that made sense, because I was always going through something. It was so hard to focus on school, you guys. I don't know why I feel so comfortable to tell you guys this, but yeah, my life has not been easy. So it wasn't easy for me to stay in school because it was either be in school or eat. You guys know that's hard to pick from. So yeah. I would love to do something in tech, but honestly, you guys, I'm kind of doing something in tech anyways right now. Like, there's so much tech that goes into creating content. Like, it's crazy. Life was not having it. It was like, you're gonna have to work hard. And it's always been like that. Like, nothing ever came easy for me. And if you follow me, you know, like, there's some people that would post on YouTube and then they just blow up. I have to post 5 or 10 videos for me to get half of what they're getting. Can you do a review on Dylan Turquoise by Versace? I've talked about it, but that's not a fragrance profile that I like. I don't like none of the Dylan Blues except for the Dylan Blue for men. So I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm not gonna review that because I don't like that scent profile. I think the bottle is beautiful for the Dylan Blues, specifically the women version, but I just feel like the fragrance could have been bomb. I actually had Dylan Blue, but I sent that off. I gave it to somebody because I don't like it. Would you ever make your own fragrance? I would, but I feel like, let me be honest with you guys, I have so much fragrances in my collection that I love. I feel like if I were to make a fragrance, it would naturally or probably become a dupe of a whole bunch of fragrances that I already love. Not because I'm purposely trying to make it a dupe, but I just feel like I'll just smell the rose in Delina and then I'll put a rose. Or I feel like I would smell the pineapple in Lamar and probably put that same pineapple, try to recreate it. But for now, not really into wanting to make my own fragrance. I mean, if I have the opportunity, why not? You know, that's like a huge milestone. But if I never get to that, I'll be fine. What did I do before becoming a content creator? I worked in retail. I worked at Publix. If you're in the South or, you know, in Florida, you know what Publix is. I worked at Publix for a while. I never could keep a job, not because I wasn't good enough at it, but I feel like God was just pushing me away from these jobs because he knew that I wasn't happy, one, and then that was not what my calling was. So I know like God was purposely allowing people to not like me. I know you guys are always saying like, if you have that one friend that feels like everybody like don't like them and it feels like everybody wronged them, it's most likely their fault. They're probably the problem. But guys, when I tell you that every single job that I held, I was really the best person there or the second best person there. But for some reason, when I started to get comfortable and then promotions were in the air, something happened and I either get fired or I either have a problem with management and it's not me. Like the management just don't like me. They would purposely, and I mean purposely, treat me like crap. One time I was so good, and this was at Publix. One of my management seen a piece of weave, and I was a loose natural at the time and I didn't wear weave like that. He seen a piece of weave, and mind you, I had my natural hair out. It's not like I had weave in my hair. And he said, "Girl, get your hair off the floor." And I was just like, what the freak? You know, what do you mean get my hair off the floor? And then I pointed at this white girl and I said, that couldn't be her hair? Why it had to be my hair? You know, so that's just a little quick story to tell you like how every single time I get a job, it just never works out because God knew that this is what I really wanted. So I started creating content and I was working from home, and I worked for Goldman Sachs, which is a bank that also works for Apple. And they fired me in March 2021. They were making up excuses, but I feel like the reason why they actually fired me is because God had bigger plans. So it was either I stay at that job and be miserable, and I'm talking about miserable. I was going into work crying every single day because I just did not like the job. I hated the job actually. It was either that or I start becoming full-time. And let me tell y'all something, y'all. Being full-time is scary because this month could be amazing and next month it could be like a piece of crap, you know? So you have to really have discipline to save your money and just, you know. I've never been one of those girls that's glitz and glam, that's super like flashy. And if I do become that, I've never been that type of girl. So I know that I won't be spending my money on crazy things like that, like a $1,500 bag that I don't need, that I'm not gonna wear. Not saying that I would never get them, but yeah. So full-time became a little bit easier for me. I'm not that, you know, expensive when it comes to some stuff. That's what I did before becoming a content creator. And I had background. My dad always used to record back in the day. He always took pictures. He had his own little company. So I had the background from that, and then I just picked up and go. I didn't doubt myself because I knew I had background in camera work, but most of my friends and stuff like that were kind of shocked because they've never seen me pick up a camera. I've always been the person to record when we're around, but it's just with my phone. So they never thought that I had the background. And I'm not a person that brags about what I do. I'm not a person that brags about what I've done. People thought that it was easy, so they wanted to do it too. Yeah, no. I just make it look easy, but it's not that easy. So yeah, that's what I did before content creating. Someone said, you love Middle Eastern fragrances. What countries have you visited or you hope to visit? I love Middle Eastern fragrances. I would love to go to Dubai. I would love to go to Japan. That's one place I really would love to go to. I haven't visited any of those spaces. I've never visited any of those places, and I would love to. I want to go to the Caribbean. I'm Haitian, but I've never been to Haiti. My mom took me when I was young, but after that, like, I've never really been to Haiti to enjoy. So wanted to go in 2020, but then things changed. Life changed as we know it in 2020. So yeah. Top 3 peach scents. I don't like peach like that, so I can't really tell you, but I know a lot of people that do like peach. And the peach fragrances that a lot of people would be liking is Tom Ford Bitter Peach. Someone said, when did I start my channel and has it changed your life? Girl, yes. I do this full time, and I was basically a full-time content creator before I was actually a full-time content creator. So it changed my life. It's crazy. I started in October 28, 2019. I posted my first video. It was me and my husband introducing our channel. It was supposed to be our channel. That's why it's called TheCherysTv, because his last name is Cherry. I did a video of me cooking Haitian chicken because I also like cooking. I'm a jack of all trades. I have a lot of stuff. I was looking for something fulfilling in my life. I was looking for my calling, and I just wish I started earlier. It changed my life for the better. My first brand deal, I got it, and I told my dad about it, and he said he's happy for me. And then when they sent me the contract to sign it, that's the day that I found out that my dad passed away. So that kind of will make somebody discouraged, but the day of my dad's viewing, I recorded a whole video. So happy to record it, post it for you guys. I'm at my dad's viewing, responding to comments right before I walk up and say my last words for him. So when I tell you I am very, very committed to this, it's ridiculous. I'm very committed. My mom was really upset at me when I hit 100K on Instagram. She mentioned that in her speech at our private dinner party, and she mentioned how happy she is for me, how committed I am, and how I don't take no for an answer whenever I want something. So yes, it has changed my life for the best. I've noticed that I've lost friends along the way. There's a lot of people that were very close to me. They're not close to me anymore because they feel like now that I'm focusing on myself, I'm not a good friend anymore. Because I was one of those friends that was like a lapdog. You call me, I'm there. I'm there every time. I didn't have no morals. I didn't have no standards. I was never busy. I didn't have no respect for myself at all. I didn't have respect for myself. I was out at all times of the day. I was very young as well, but that had no excuse because I look at myself and how I reacted, and I look at younger girls that was my age, and they're so put together. They have it done, and I felt like I wasted my time. But if I didn't go through that journey, I wouldn't realize how much growing up I had to do. So YouTube has really changed my life for the better. Not only that, content creating is starting to change my life financially, but it helped me grow up, and it helped me put myself first, because that's one thing I was not doing. I was helping everybody grow, and now that I am growing myself, I have friends that are no longer closer to me anymore because I was spending all that time making them better. And now that I'm not doing that anymore, it's a little intriguing. It's a little intimidating because damn, she finally sees what everybody else seen in her, and now she's actually acting on it. That's all I could see, because I don't know how someone would get upset at me doing better for myself. If you really love me, you should be happy that I'm doing better for myself. You should not be thinking about yourself all the time. And my mom said that in her speech, that one thing she loved about me is the fact that I was finally putting all the energy that I was putting in everybody else into myself. What's your inspiration when you're seeking for a new fragrance. Simple. I'm just looking for something different and something that stands out and something that's gonna make me feel like I'm that girl, that's gonna make me feel better, and that's gonna uplift me. I don't want something that only smells good, because if that's the case, my search is over. That's exactly what I look for when I'm looking for a fragrance. But nowadays, I don't too much look for that much fragrances. I only pick up a new fragrance if you guys ask me about it, if y'all bother me about it enough, or if somebody sends it to me. Next question is, what made you fall in love with perfume? My mom, my dad, they've made me fall in love with perfume because they loved wearing perfume. They loved smelling good. So they're the reason why I fell in love with fragrance in the first place. Marriage advice for those who wants to be married. I don't know what kind of advice to give for someone that is looking for a man, but honestly, you guys, and I know this is gonna sound super cliche, before I found my husband, I had to work on myself. And at the time I was not looking for him. I just knew exactly what I wanted. I knew I wanted a marriage just like my mom and my dad's marriage. They were friends. They were not only married just because everybody else was getting married. They weren't together because everybody else was together. They did it because they wanted to do it. And they were in love, and it was a partnership throughout the whole time I grew up with them. That was one of the best things in my life, that I witnessed growing up. My parents' relationship, they loved each other. I've never seen my mom with another man. I've never seen my dad with another woman. I don't know what issues they had in their relationship, but all I know is that one thing they didn't do was bring anybody else in the relationship, and they worked as a partner. Like the days that my mom was off, my mom would be cooking and cleaning. The days that my dad was off, he was cooking and cleaning. I've always dated and talked to people, but my husband was my second boyfriend ever. And I said to myself, I do not want to bring several men to my parents' house. I did one and it was a mistake. I said the next person I'm gonna bring is gonna be my husband. So me and him talked for a year before physically touching. Let's just be honest. Because I had trust issues and stuff like that, but I had to make sure I was good first before I was good for the next person. So my advice, short and simple, work on you first, and once you're done, everything's gonna come naturally, I promise you. And I prayed for my husband as well, and I'm not saying that I prayed for him to be my husband, but I prayed for someone to treat me and love me for who I am. And then he came, and I was not ready. We both wasn't ready, but we took time, and then boom, I wanna say 9 years later. And one thing I gotta say is I never pressured him to marry me or anything. I never brung up marriage. You have to make sure that he wants marriage too. That was in the beginning. We brung it up, but I see women nowadays are just like every 2 seconds, yeah, this is what I want to do when I'm married. He better do this. He better marry me. Everybody was asking me like, okay, and I was never that type. Like I always was like, if he's ready to marry me, he's ready to marry me. And when he was ready, he married me. I'm not the type that would pressure him into marriage, because that's one thing you don't do. You pressure a guy, because the more you pressure him, you're pushing him away. And he knew that I wanted to be married too. And that's exactly what he wanted. We were on the same page. You just gotta make sure you guys are on the same page. I'd rather a man come to me and say, hey, I just want to smash, versus a man come to me and say, hey, I want to find the love of my life, and he just want to smash. There has to be honesty. And I made my husband very comfortable. I was like, listen, if this is a smashing session, just let me know. I was not gonna do that, but I just put him in a comfortable state for him to tell me, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do. And then I would have been like, okay, deuces, that's not what I want to do, bye. But I never allowed him to ask me, what am I looking for in a man? Because if he asks me that, he's gonna make sure he does that. I wanted to see who he really was, and he showed me who he really was, and I made that executive decision to continue being in that relationship. And now we're here. And just be ready to fall in love. Like, there's true love out there. Not everybody's a cheater. Everybody has problems, everybody has flaws, but not everybody's a cheater. Not everyone's gonna hurt you. There are standards that I want, but I threw the list away and I found the love of my life. What's the best versatile fragrance? I think the best versatile fragrance is the fragrances that you find in the designer stores. So for example, La Vie est Belle, very versatile all year round. Coco Mademoiselle, very versatile all year round. My Way, all year round. Like, fragrances that's all year round are the best versatile fragrances. Someone said, what part of Florida are you from? I'm from Central Florida. Someone said, what makes a fragrance last long? Having a solid foundation. So that means for your fragrance lasting long starts in the shower. Someone said, favorite nighttime scent deodorant. I never really thought about a night and a daytime, but I use Dove because Dove works perfect. What's the most expensive perfume that you purchased? Most expensive that I've purchased was the Dior tubercular, but I didn't purchase it. My husband purchased it for me. Some of my layering favorites, I can't really answer that right now, but I do have a layering playlist, so I'll just put the playlist right here. I just created that playlist for you guys, so definitely check out that and you'll see all of my layering favorites, because there's so much fragrance combination layering combos that I don't really have a specific favorite. Can you do a fragrance giveaway even if it's ones you no longer use or barely use? Clearly that person is only here for giveaways, really only here just so that they can see when I do giveaways. And that's the reason why I don't do often giveaways, because people just start following you just specifically for giveaways. True cherry bombs know that when I do a giveaway, oh, I do a giveaway. Someone said, what do I do or use to minimize my pores? To be quite honest, I don't use a pore minimizer, but I do use the Glow Recipe. It's a toner and it helps with pores. But before then, I never really had like large pores or anything, so that's what I would use. But under my makeup, I just use like a silk canvas or like a Power Grip primer, so that way my pores don't look too big. But like a Balm Solid skincare routine would definitely help you with enlarged pores. Someone said, do I recommend Zara fragrances for a student that's into fragrances? Cherry Smoothie, those are nice. I also have, what is that one called that I have? You guys, I'm going crazy. Ebony Wood, and I love that one. That's a woody fragrance. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. I hope that answered y'all questions. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends and your loved ones. And I hope you guys continue to support me. And don't forget that I do have my 30K giveaway. And for the 30K giveaway, I will put all the information in the description box below for you guys to enter, and in the communities tab as well. I think it's going to be mainly in the communities tab. So please check the communities tab for the 30K giveaway rules. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. Until we see each other again, please, please, please stay safe and keep on smelling fragrances. Bye, cherry bombs.